Alrighty guys, as you hear, bringing us the Dragon Ball Legends ToP guide video. So we're going to go ahead and try a different format for this one. That way these videos won't be too lengthy, so you guys can go ahead and just easily get through them. Timestamps will be in the description below. I am in rank Z, right? We finally made it into Z League and stuff like that, so I'm very happy about that. The first team that I wanted to go ahead and take a look at is Regeneration. I think this is one of the staple teams of ToP, right? I don't think this team is going anywhere at all, so let's go ahead and talk about why they're so good. We can look at the team that I have built right here as more of a free-to-play player, right? Because when you look at the leaderboard, it's going to be more about stars and stuff like that. And overall, you definitely do have to go ahead and keep stars into consideration. That's going to bring you success in the ToP game mode. But let's talk about Baby. He's able to go ahead and heal. He heals the left block and the right block of you. You can see right here, every single turn by 3%. That's absolutely massive. And then you have Boo, who's able to essentially do the same thing, but he doesn't do it every single turn. He does it at the end of the second turn. So you have to keep in mind, if you want some more heals, put him next to Baby. If you don't need the heals as much, put him next to Majin Buu. And so that's pretty much the gist of how you play this team. This guy's he plays a really pivotal role as well. He's probably one of the better units for Regeneration, ironically enough, right? Because he was so bad in PvP. But he does get a guaranteed blue card at the beginning of the round, at the start of the very first turn, and more than likely he's going to attack first as well, because he has a really high key recovery, so that's really good. You can go ahead and possibly snipe a character. This is the Regeneration team that I have, and we'll go ahead and pull up a team from the leaderboard. So on the leaderboard side of things, we do have the #1 ToP player right here, right? And he does have the Zenkai Piccolos, right? That Zenkai LF Piccolo is absolutely amazing for ToP. If you have him, 100% run him. I've seen Merge Zamasu a lot in these top leaderboards as well. If you have him at high stars, definitely run him. Keep in mind, the lower stars you have, the less likely you're going to be able to sustain all the way to the end. The next team that I have that I want to showcase is Hybrid Saiyans, and I personally think that this is probably going to be the best team in terms of score. In terms of score, this team is going to be absolutely massive, and the main reason to that is because of the fact that majority of the Hybrid units are in Tier 1. We just took a look at Regeneration, and half of my Regeneration units are in Tier 1 and half of them are in Tier 2. Keep in mind, don't be afraid to dip into Tier 2 or even Tier 3 to make sure you have an optimal team suited to your own box, right? You don't want to go ahead and pigeonhole yourself into one specific tier. That's going to screw you over. Don't be afraid to look into Tier 2, ladies and gentlemen. But Hybrid Saiyans, they don't necessarily need to do that. So we have two screenshots up here, right? On the right-hand side, we see these are from my buddy Adamos, who goes in-game by Vados equals GP. He's sitting at rank 58 overall using Hybrid Saiyans. And so you can see on the left-hand side of the screen, just in case you do want to copy and paste his teams, this is what he's running. So you can see he's only running 2 Zenkai units, right? He's only running 2 Zenkai units. That purple Gohan, he'll do just fine even at Zenkai level 1. If you guys definitely don't want to run a Zenkai 1 unit, then you can find other replacements for him as well. Like I said, there's a lot of units in Tier 1 that are pretty decent, especially, and we'll give you an example for the Z7 Trunks. And if you guys don't have him, or you guys are scared of running him, you guys should be more than welcome to go ahead and run this guy right here. He has a buff against Regeneration. He is able to put debuff on the enemy board. He has a damage cut. He'll be A-okay. He's proved himself in past seasons of ToP, and he'll be fine to this day. And then another unit that you could possibly run right here is this Zenkai EX Gohan right here, because unlike other EXs who are scheduled for development in ToP, this guy came fully equipped with his ToP abilities, and he gets a bonus buff if you're running him alongside a Trunks battle member, which you're going to be running him alongside a Trunks member in the ToP, right? Especially on Hybrid Saiyans. And he also has a damage cut for 20%. He is a Zenkai unit, so he's going to have inflated stats and stuff like that. He's definitely going to be a good option for you guys. So basically, you just have a lot of options to choose from right here, right? So definitely you can go ahead and pick and choose. You can see on the bench right here, Adamos does have Gotenks, who is a solid option, and this Gohan, who is absolutely amazing. Like, it's mind-boggling how good this guy is too, right? Especially because of the fact that he heals so much. He has a damage cut for 25%, and he restores his own health by 5% after he gets hit, and that activates twice, keep in mind. Alright, for the next team I wanted to go ahead and take a look at is GT. This is going to be one of the more, like, the double-edged sword teams of ToP, right? Because this is a really premium team. You have 3 Zenkais on this team, you have 2 LS, and you have 2 brand new units. So I don't expect a lot of you guys to actually have this team fully built, but it's going to perform really good in ToP nonetheless, so that's why I'm going to go ahead and show it in this video, just in case you do have a really stacked out GT team. So again, we have 2 screenshots right here portraying another good friend of mine. He goes by Stevie. In game, he goes by Kaio Vegeta. He is at rank 120 league ranking, right? And then you can see on the left hand side of the screen, he is running the absolute optimal GT team right here, right? He has a high star LS, he has all 3 of the Zenkais, he has the brand new units, and of course he has Baby. So you guys already know I talked about Baby in the regeneration part of the video. He's able to heal to your left and to your right every single turn, as well as giving him a nice little damage buff. So let's talk about the Shadow Dragons real quick, right? So Ice Shenron and Noah Shenron are both in tier 1, I do believe, right? So they both have this nice little unique ability where if we look at Ice Shenron, because I actually do have Ice Shenron, before receiving a Strike Arts, he's able to activate a special action in which he's going to be able to go ahead and mitigate that attack, and he inflicts them with Can Attack for 1 turn. Inversely, Nova Shenron kind of has a similar ability, but before receiving a Strike Art or a Blast card, he does both. He's able to go ahead and nullify it like Bergamo does. Bergamo kind of has like that little green card bubble shield and stuff like that, just like Buhan does. They're able to go ahead and have that damage mitigation, which is absolutely wonderful for any of you guys that are curious about that, because you have that sustained ability. Zenkai Super 17 definitely does have the same effect as well. The only thing with this team is that they're kind of all over the place. So they do have a couple tier 1 units. The Shadow Dragons, you do have Gogeta, he has a massive amount of damage reduction, right? He has minus 30% to damage sustained right here at the start of the battle, right, to the first attack, and then right here he also has another 30% to damage received, minus 30% to damage received. So you're on that first hit that he takes, he's practically taking minus 60%, which is absolutely insane. He has a massive board to go ahead and do a cover strike if your allies are 30% or lower in health, right? So all in all, definitely a very solid unit. I definitely do think he's going to be a little bit of a struggle to use at low stars, but let me know in the comments down below if you're using him at low stars and he's performing just fine. Another thing that I wanted to talk about this team is that this team dips into tier 2 with Baby and the Zenkais, and even into tier 3 with the Super Saiyan 4 purple Goku, so do keep that in mind. You are going to have to dip into these lower tiers and stuff like that, but as you can see right here, Stevie is doing just fine for himself. He is at rank 120, right? Alright, so another team that I wanted to go ahead and take a look at, this is going to be on the lower tier side of things. This is a team that I have been seeing consistently in the past couple seasons of the ToP, is Sagas from the movie. So let's go ahead and take a look at some of these units. I do have a screenshot pulled up here from the rank number 66, and this is his team right here, right? So you can go ahead and copy and paste this team as you will, and he has the Zenkais, right? He has the Zenkai Brolys, he even has the LF Broly. I think the MVP of movie Sagas has to be these two right here, though. Is this Bojack, because of the fact that at the start of the second turn, he gets 100% to own special move gauge. His guaranteed blue card is always going to be immensely valuable in this game mode. And then on top of that, I do believe he heals. So at the third turn, he's able to go ahead and restore his own health by 10%. He heals and he gets a guaranteed blue card. That's pretty much enough said about him. And then we already went over this guy over Hybrid Saiyans, right? He's able to heal himself as well. He has some good damage cut and stuff like that. He's a transforming unit, so he's always going to be valuable as well. I'm surprised that this player actually doesn't have this guy included in his team, but that's someone you definitely should look into. He has both of the Janembas. The red Janemba is extremely valuable in this. The purple Janemba, I've used him personally, and I feel like he is a little bit squishy, but I guess this guy has him at 14 stars. I only have him at 7. He still does some good niche little effects, right? Because if he gets hit by a blast card, he's able to basically go ahead and use his green card on it, and thus it's going to increase his special move gauge. So after basically taking a blast card, he's going to nullify that blast card, and he's going to go ahead and increase his special move gauge by 50%, which is not bad at all. Alright, so for the final team that I wanted to go ahead and take a look at is Saiyans. So this is the picture that you guys see on the screen right here. This is a Saiyans team that I built, that I was personally experimenting with. I didn't actually use this team, but on paper, it looks like it would do decent, right? You actually have 2 healers on this team. That's what I want to go ahead and talk about right here, right? So the first healer you're going to go ahead and see in the form of Super Saiyan Blue Goku. So we have this guy right here, and basically what he's able to do at the end of the second turn, all allies in range, so the 3 blocks ahead of him, or well, basically the whole little row in front of him, he restores their health by 2% and 20% to damage inflicted for 2 turns. Combo this with the Angel Vegeta, who is in tier 2, you're going to get a whole lot of healing, right? So in tier 2, we have this Angel Vegeta. He is the MVP of Saiyans, 100%. I've said it before, I'll say it again. He is the MVP of Saiyans. He's able to go ahead, and he has this ability where he restores health by 3% as well as 25% to damage inflicted for the entire board. for the entire board at the start of the 3rd turn. That is absolutely massive. That's something you definitely want to go ahead and invest in if you guys are going to plan on bringing Saiyans for ToP. And then you have the Zenkai Super Saiyan 3 Goku, who's always going to do well, right? He's going to provide Zenkai buffs for the purple Saiyans on your team. He's just generally going to do well. And then you have the 14-star Ultra Goku, who's a free-to-play unit, right? He has the cover rescue on blast cards and stuff like that. He has a decent ToP kit. I'm not going to lie. He has some damage cut and some damage buffs as well. I don't think he's the best, but he's definitely a viable option as well. As for other raid units, I do have on the backup right here. If you have that Zenkai Vegeta, definitely go ahead and feel free to slap him on there. He does buff Saiyans. Or the Bardock. The Bardock is actually a tier 1 unit, and he's able to heal. I think that's very, very important to note. I think he's very underrated in ToP, so he can definitely be very good as well. And then as well as this purple Vegeta, who is in tier 1, he does a lot of good stuff, right? He restores health by 7%, and that activates twice after receiving an attack, which is huge. As well as being able to go ahead and get minus 20% to damage received. So he's going to do well as well. Gogeta, you guys already know, he's going to do just fine as long as you have him at high stars. If you really are unsure about the Gogeta, you can dip into tier 3 and bring in the Zenkai LF Super Saiyan 3 if you do have him, or even the Super Saiyan 4 Goku if you do have him. So those are my top 5 teams for this season of ToP, right? So I want to talk about just a couple tips that I had learned from last season, right? So from last season, I learned that you could actually die in ToP and not really have any repercussion at all. As you guys do know, I moved up to the Z League, right? But you guys may not know is that I was running androids last season, and I died before the first boss. Like, I died like right here, bro. And I got set back 2 spaces, and I thought, dude, okay, well, there goes my CC. I'm not going to get it. And I was so hurt, but I come to find out that you can actually die twice without any repercussions. You'll still be able to complete the whole board, and that might be better than healing up, right? So instead of healing up, where you'll heal a percentage of your health from your characters and stuff like that, if you actually die and you lose a stage, you'll just get set back 2 spaces, but with full health characters, but you'll still have the option to complete the entire board, making sure you secure those points, right, instead of losing points from the healing tiles. So that's definitely something you want to keep in mind. You can do that twice. I've had people tell me that you can do it more than twice, right? But definitely guaranteed you can die at least twice as long as you don't let any of your TP bleed over, right? You have to make sure you're utilizing every single last drop of your TP. Another thing that I wanted to know is if you're getting mollywopped by these 5-fist stages, then feel free to just start doing the 4-fist stages. There's not going to be a massive score difference. I promise you guys. You guys will still get by. You guys will still get, if you guys are watching this, you guys probably just want the 1k CC that you can get from this, right? If you guys are getting absolutely mollywopped by the 5-fist stages, do some 4-fist stages. Last season, I was getting mollywopped by the 4-fist stages even towards the end, right? And I was scared that I was going to die. So I went ahead and started doing a couple of the 3-fist stages, and they weren't that bad in terms of giving me score, right? I still, like I said, I was able to rank up to Z League, obviously. I still ended at rank 1,200 and something. So that's definitely something you want to keep in mind too. As always, make sure you guys are choosing the characters you want to go ahead and target. Make sure you guys are looking at the layout bonus as well to go ahead and optimize your attack and your defense. That being said, that's going to go ahead and end it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoy. I'll see you guys in the next one. Later!